Hey, Matthew. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good
It's
morning,
I'm with
Teepa.
Teepa and Matthew, and I was away, and I got back sort of at what is the new 10 o'clock last night to the airport, and 11 o'clock at the house, and then did some things to get ready for out again this evening. I'm flying back out this evening. And so yesterday was our change for some people, not everyone in the world, but for us, it's change of time. And so there was this hour thing where we fall back an hour. We get this extra hour in the morning, supposedly, or the whole day, I guess. And so it was interesting. I got up and went to yoga this morning, and on my way to yoga, there was an NPR report. And so I have it here. Matthew's going to share it out because they were talking about not about an hour. Yeah, there's this hour thing, and the research is pretty convincing that indeed we would be better on standard time rather than daylight savings for our brain and body health because standard time keeps us aligned more with sun darkness. And circadian rhythms are built around sun darkness, and they are not the same all year long because in wherever you are, there are times of the year when the sun is out more, and there are times of the year when the sun is out less. And I'm not talking about shady days. I'm talking about the rotation around that makes days longer or shorter and nights longer or shorter in the opposite. And so they were talking about some key variables that help you align and be well
Mhm.
because I've talked about it, a term before, Matthew. See if you remember it: homeostasis.
Oh yeah,
Homeostasis.
homeostasis. Yes.
Does that sound
Yes, that sounds very familiar. It's that idea of the everything kind of staying in a good place within inside that biome
finding
or you or
finding the
yes.
rhythm, and the
Yeah.
rhythm is a nice, you ease into it, you
Yeah.
do something, you ease out of it
It's not
with
erratic.
good
Right.
transition. And so circadian indicates a 24-hour clock kind of
Mm.
phenomena where we go through a 24-hour period. And it turns out that things like input, energy, like using energy either vigorously or calming back down, and then outputting, getting rid of things, removing things, waste, getting, and then getting comfortable and then having no pain. And for us, it also means going from, like a sapphire state to a diamond, emerald, amber, ruby, pearl, out of pearl to ruby to amber to emerald to diamond to sapphire. You know, so that sapphire is that best quality state where you have the ability to be flexible and creative. Yeah, Matthew.
And so Teepa, you're bringing up gem states, and I know we talk about gem states quite a bit. And I know that sometimes we have folks on here who come in and have not heard gem states before. So
Or
real,
only heard it in
real,
terms of living with dementia. I mean, sometimes, like their background is we did for a while just talk about people living with dementia having different gem states as opposed to Claudia Allen levels or the global deterioration scale, because that's how it all started. But then, like after reviewing and thinking, it's like, well, we have different brain states every day.
yeah,
Why wouldn't we really acknowledge that? And what we know is that with increasing changes in the brain due to a dementia or a other condition, it can really vary how much time you can spend in each gem state. And our presence also around things like dementia or neuroatypical conditions or stressful situations can really change our brain state too, make it hard for us to transition or be in certain gem states.
yeah. So cool. So it sounds like gem states, different areas, different parts of the journey. If I'm living with a diagnosis of neurodegeneration, or I'm just a human being in general, and I can go through, and we can all see these
Yeah, I
different
mean,
skills.
my best sapphire time is usually morning.
Yeah.
And there's a time in the evening that I'm also very good because I'm more of a deer. That's my rhythm. Some people are early birds, some are night owls, some are more hawks, we call them, the afternoon gliders. They come online in the early afternoon time. And some people are different. There's siesta cultures built around us deer people,
Yeah.
by the way. And so, I mean, those are all different patterns.
Right.
But what the recommendation in NPR, just so we go back to what I started
Yeah.
the
The
conversation
article.
with, don't get
Yes.
too far off.
No.
for us to have a balanced gem state pattern that's really healthy for us, our brains are healthy, our bodies are healthy.
Yeah.
What they're proposing is what we want. First is sun exposure in the morning
Hmm.
because it kicks your clock into gear. So making sure that when you rise, you don't forget to be exposed to the sun's rays. Now, it doesn't mean going out and sitting and, being sunblind, but making sure your body gets exposed to the sun, to the outdoor sun, if at all possible. Or if you're trapped in a space, I guess you could use one of the full spectrum lights. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't have evidence. I can't say that for sure, but that's my best guess.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
second is you want to commence taking in nourishment
Hmm.
relatively quickly and relatively early, so that you set your digestive system in the intake mode. And so you start it cranking up, and it's more effective at using insulin and
Hmm.
doing the glucose insulin kind of thing and making sure your organs are all in gear for that stuff. Now, once you get that going, the two variations, and this is variation depending on what you're comfortable with, is exercise in the morning or exercise in the afternoon. And that varies by who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
when you
really
have
how you
when you
go
have
on
time to fit that in and stuff like
and
that.
where
Yeah.
you have time to fit it in and
Yeah.
how it fits into things. What you don't want to do, according to this stuff, and this is out of Salk Institute, a woman who does she's a chrono scientist, which
Oh
is
yeah.
time study
Yes,
scientist.
indeed.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to exercise late at night because it tunes your body up to get ready for something, and it's not sleep in general.
Hmm.
And then you want to quit eating, quit bringing things into the body, quit intaking things approximately 10 hours after you start it.
Okay.
So you create this window of 10 hours of intake, and then you don't intake into the evening or into
Hmm.
the later day because you need the systems to process what you have on board and then quit for the night so that everybody can settle in and you can do the waste removal. And
All
this
right.
is where you get your kidneys to process more fluid. This is where you get your gut to sort of settle down and you're sort of filling up and you're ready to dump it in the morning or dump it, it's sort of, but you're also cleaning your brain during that time.
Hmm.
And you get rid of old thoughts and what you don't need. And your brain does sort of a dump, like memory dump. This one's not going to, yeah, hang on to this one. This was vital. This is like, and so you go through these cycles, very active cycles in sleep. In your pearl state, you're really internally driven, unless you wake up and you're very Ruby like. You're going to do the basics, like dump the stuff and come back. So getting up to urinate and then coming back, getting up to, you know, get the gas out and then come back. But, and this is where, your mouth might be super dry because you're a mouth breather, and you really need to shift some positions. But anyway, um, so what they said is if you sustain this over time, you create a healthier homeostasis.
Homeostasis. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's
Chronobiologist. So that's what a chronobiologist does is to look at
that's
all
the
of this
kind of thing
stuff.
apparently they
Yeah.
do. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay, so let's do a check, Teepa. Okay, so
yes. So what
here's
you think?
here's my routine. So I get up at 5 a.m. Although
Okay.
there's no sun at that time, so I don't get exposure to sun. That's not until later. The very first thing I do is I drink an 8-ounce glass of water with lemon juice in it.
Wow.
The very
Okay.
first thing I do, I take in some water with some lemon juice, and
Okay.
then I take in a protein shake that has about 20
Mhm.
grams of protein, and then I
Okay.
go walk for 20 minutes on a treadmill with a weighted vest on
Okay.
and an incline while I'm listening to an audiobook. So a couple things at the same time. And then I don't eat lunch or usually not until like around noon. And then I eat again around 6 p.m. But then I'm like mostly here doing stuff and I might get up and down. So how am I doing on the list of things that they were mentioning? Am
Okay. So if I wanted my intake time to start later so that I could actually eat later because I'm also a get up at 5 and get going, but I drink coffee. I am a coffee drinker in the morning. I'm not a water drinker first. I mean, I do actually, that's not true. I do have usually about a small glass of water, though not a large. I would have to get rid of the milk because in my system, if I drink milk, it counts as a nutrient and it starts the clock. It's when you do your protein shake that you start your clock.
Oh, okay.
Now, so that's when the clock starts. And so
Hmm.
when do you finish eating anything? Is it so you do that probably by 5:30, 6?
6 p.m. Yeah, on average. I mean, it'll vary depending on
Okay, so
activities,
that's
but around 6
12
p.m.
hours, not
Yeah.
10.
No, yeah, I don't think I'm hitting that mark very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, would you want to delay your protein shake, until after your
Yeah.
exercise? Or do you want to try to have dinner at 4 p.m.? I mean,
Early. Yeah.
I'm not thinking that's probably very
No, not
probable
convenient.
given your family and your environment and your task demands, etc. So this is this balancing act we have to, because
Sure.
we live in a world with puzzle pieces. And we aren't the only thing in our puzzle. I mean, we've got ourselves, we've got our bodies, we've got our brains, we've got other people in our world, we've got the environment, we've got time commitments and time use in other ways. So the thing I would say is, what's one thing I might modify to better get myself in a healthier homeostatic system? And for
Mm.
me, it might be, okay, what could I do with my coffee that it doesn't count as a food?
Mm.
Because frankly, I can wait later in the morning after a yoga. I have water as long as I can have my coffee. I just have to figure out the flavoring, not being milk and not having nutrients or protein in it, so that I could wait and then do my 10 hours from that.
Yeah. Mm. Things to
I know
consider.
that. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at that. That's my look at what
Yeah.
I can do, because I do
Consider.
tend to get out and get exposed pretty quick. I don't know that I stay out that long because I have too many inside commitments in the morning. That might
Yeah.
be. I don't know how I can get them. Anyway,
Maybe
for
get one
those.
of those lights that give you sun exposure or something. Yeah,
I
there you
know. I
go.
put them on the plants that I had to bring inside because I don't have a good place for them to get natural sunlight.
Hmm.
Um, I'll have to bring a picture of my avocado and mango tree
Ooh.
in a corner in the hallway with full spectrum lights on them. And that Dick is kindly turning on and off for me since I'm in and out of town right now with conference season.
Yeah.
Um, Consults. So anyway, but for those of you out there who are living the life of support,
Mm.
living a life that involves you really trying to be the best you can be so that you can support the best you can support, and you're curious about gem states, you're curious about this circadian thing, you're curious about how exercise and diet and being outdoors and being social and being on your own and sleeping and all that fits into what will work best. Check out the NPR piece, because I thought it was helpful to me to think on myself,
Hmm.
and that moment of reflection where you get a chance to think it through. And if you have questions, connect up, ask us. I mean, we don't know all the answers, but we'll sure go look. Like, I looked up you and your lemon, and you're allowed to get away with that. You can have that, doesn't count. So you're cool. That's fine.
I hear it's
Me,
good for the digestive tract to kick it into
yeah,
gear
I
too.
know. I gotta figure out that. I know I don't want lemon in my coffee though. I
No,
can
no, yeah.
guarantee you that right
Ugh.
now. So I'm gonna have
Oh,
to figure out my coffee. Now it's only half calf. I mean, I'll give you that. It's not a big. I'm not a huge calf. It's just the flavor.
yeah.
Got to figure that one out, and maybe I'll figure out the. Oh, I'm not good at stopping eating either.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
That would be
I'm
rough.
not.
Yeah.
That's a tough one at the end. Yeah, I got to figure that part out too. But it's something to figure out, not to be stressed over. So
Yeah.
it's like, let me see what I can do with that. Because when you make a change, you want it to be a long-term change.
Yeah.
So use your pipes. Think about it, because you want to be able to sustain what you change. So that's the other card we could share out.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody. Till next time, take care with your care. And most of all, take care of yourself, because you matter so much. Till next time, be well all.
Thank you, Teepa. Bye, everybody.